Hey everyone, Stacy here with the Bargain Bandit. This is episode number 21, and today's date is October 30th, 2012. And welcome to my Tuesday episode. Some of you might have seen the things I've been doing with Tracy. She's the Highland Picker here on YouTube. We're doing, what's it called? Things for sale, or for sale with Stacy and Tracy, or Tracy and Stacy. For sale with Tracy and Stacy. And it's just a fun little web show we're doing now. We've done it 2 days in a row. I don't know if it's going to be a daily event or not. We're still working out the kinks with it, but it's just kind of a fun thing. And people are showing up and asking questions in it while we're also doing our showing off the things we have for sale. And we're answering questions, so it's kind of a fun thing. And if you haven't seen it yet, check it out. I've got the first one on my channel, and the second one is on the Highland Pickers channel. So today's episode, I'm going to cover some of my recent sells from things I have purchased at thrift stores, estate sales, yard sales, and the like. I have some pretty neat things to show you, and so I'll see you at the end after I show you everything. See you soon. And looking over the things that I picked out for today's episode, I did kind of notice a common theme with a lot of the items. Not everything, but a lot of them are items that I bought simply because I'd seen other people who do YouTube videos show off that they'd bought it and, you know, that they were sellable items. So the first is exactly like this, and a lot of this is actually from the Paper Castle. I learned a lot from her. The first thing is I bought a latch hook kit. Granted, she didn't buy latch hook kits. She bought cross-stitch kits, but I thought, well, if a latch hook kit or a cross-stitch kit sells, and sells for pretty good money, maybe a latch hook kit would too. So I bought 3 latch hook kits, and only one of them is sold, but the one that sold more than paid for the 3, and I'll just lower the prices on the other 2 until I finally sell them. The one that sold was a Victorian Roses design. Like I said, I bought each of them for $2, and I did end up having to lower the price on this until it did sell. Latch hook kits are not, they don't have near the popularity that cross-stitch stuff does, but they still will sell if the design is interesting and cool enough, and I guess a lot of people really like the Victorian Rose design. It had a lot of watchers and a lot of views, whereas my other 2 are not getting nearly as much, which is funny because one of them has a God Bless America design with a flag, and I thought that one for sure would sell and sell quick, but I guess people don't like that one at all. So, but the lesson from this one was from the Paper Castle, so thank you, Paper Castle. The next item I'm going to talk about is something that I was able to buy because of where I live. I live in San Antonio. It has a very high population of Spanish-speaking people, and so a lot of the items in San Antonio are sold in Spanish or in both Spanish and English, and this is a good example. It was a deck of Pictorica cards that were Spanish. Everything on them was Spanish, so it was a Spanish-only item. The Pictorica cards were sealed. The box had a little bit of damage, but the cards were still sealed, never played with. I bought it for 50 cents, so it was a pretty good bargain. I'm pretty sure I bought it with a lot of other things too. It wasn't the only thing I bought. I'm trying to rack my brain on this one because it's been a while. These Pictorica cards I had for a while, and then I put them up a couple weeks ago, and then they sold, last week. So they weren't even up that long before they sold. So the Pictorica cards, Spanish speakers. Yeah, it's one of those things that because of where I live, I'm very lucky in being able to find a lot of Spanish stuff, and that stuff sells across the country. So. For this next item, I'm going to give a shout out again to the Paper Castle, but also to Annabella's Gift Shop. They both bought mugs, and I kind of was buying mugs right off the bat when I started picking, but I didn't realize how much value there was in mugs until I started watching theirs. I was like really underpricing my mugs, pricing them for like $4, just trying to get rid of them, not realizing that mugs, if you price them for $10, somebody's going to buy them. And this is a good example. It was a Care Bear's Cousin mug from 1986. It was good condition, beautiful mug, had a really cool heart handle, and I was able to sell it for $10, and I picked it up for a quarter or 50 cents. I don't even remember. I'm sure that I have the right information on my little marker. But yeah, so I mean, so thank you both to Annabella's Gift Shop and the Paper Castle for showing me what the actual value in mugs was, and not just that you could buy them for a quarter, turn them around for $4. You can actually get more than that for decent mugs. This next item, I'm going to shout out to two different other people. I'm going to shout out to one, Global Voodoo, and the other one is Buy to Sell Picker. And these are both people who pick up a lot of snapback and baseball caps and that sort of thing. And so I started picking those up because of that. I had picked up one that was beer related because I learned early on that beer related items sell pretty well, and I was able to sell that one quickly. But other hats I was kind of steering away from until I started watching their videos, and then I started picking them up, and I picked up a Kermit the Frog really unique hat that I sold for $15. Plus shipping. That one was a really cool buy, and it sold really quick. So I'm thinking I underpriced that Kermit hat. But I've sold a few other hats, and this hat is another one. It was a Dallas Cowboys hat. It looked like it was from the 90s. It was in pretty good condition, clean. I now know how to clean hats, but I don't have like a hat head in order to shape the hat yet, so I haven't been doing that. I have a Raiders cap that I need to clean up and put up before football season is over. But this Cowboys hat, was a pretty nice hat, and it was definitely had some age to it, and I made a pretty good profit off of it. So thank you to both of them for, teaching me a little bit more about hats. This next item is a board game, so it's all me. It's a copy of Stratego. It was from 1998, and the box had some pretty significant tape damage to it, but otherwise it was in great condition, complete. It wasn't, one of my most expensive items, but it's kind of like the average item that I sell with board games. I did overpay. The woman had a bunch of different things that she just wasn't willing to let them go for less than an arm and a leg. I ended up bundling everything together and being able to get things for a little bit cheaper from her, but she really wanted a lot of money for her games, and Stratego was one of hers, even though the box had a lot of tape damage, so that significantly reduces the value. I can't stress enough not to put tape on your game boxes. Because you're going to damage the value. And there is value in almost every game out there. There's value. But if there's damage to the box, that value decreases a lot. If the box had been in pristine condition, I probably could have gotten $10 more for this game. Just to give you an example. It basically cut the value of the game in half. But, it's still, it was a good sell. And I did make profit on it, even though I did overpay for it. So. This last item is another shout out for somebody, but for the life of me, I can't remember which it was, and I can't go back and find the video in which I learned about vintage Bibles. And it's either Annabella's Gift Shop or the Paper Castle, who buys the vintage Bibles. And because of that, I look at Bibles now. I wasn't even looking at them before, and now I look at them. And I picked up 3 that were at an estate sale the first day for $2 a piece, which is crazy, I know. You would think estate sales know the value of Bibles, but they didn't. And I did sell the one that was the oldest, and it was dated because it had like a cover page that said to someone, and it had the date 1942 in it, which is how I knew how old it was, that it was at least pre-1942. And it was also my smallest one of the 3 that I'd picked up. It was a pretty neat Bible, good condition, and it did sell today, actually, while I was in my show with Tracy. So if you watch that, you already know that I sold this Bible. But it was, it's the first Bible I've sold. I just put all of the Bibles up, late last week. And so now, the first one has sold, so now I know that I can sell Bibles. So thank you to whoever it was who showed off their vintage Bible buying. So my top 3, if you watch my haul videos, you've already seen these items, but I'm going to show off my top 3 favorite items that I picked up this past week. And as you know, if you've watched my videos, I mostly went to thrift stores. I didn't have a whole lot of yard saling time this weekend. It rained really bad on Friday, and then Saturday I wasn't feeling the best. So all of this stuff actually comes from thrift stores, unfortunately. So my first favorite thing, I paid 50 cents for this at a Goodwill. And it is a Madame Tussauds coffee mug, and it's in fantastic condition. It's got the raised lettering, which I really love, the relief lettering. And yeah, it's a neat cup. And Madame Tussauds This is from 2001. It's a wax museum. So it's a kind of a cool little memorabilia, and you can see on the bottom it's all official and everything. So that is my first favorite pickup for 50 cents. I'll probably put this up for $9.99. My second favorite pickup is this thing here. And I know I keep mentioning the paper castle, but for some reason she buys a lot of things that I find all the time. Like, I actually run into these things. A lot of other people put up things that they find, but they're not things that you might run into every day. They're like harder finds, and every once in a while I will find something from those. But it seems like the paper castle is putting up things that I can buy for, a buck or two and resell for 10 to 20, which is my bread and butter. So, I've learned a lot from her. And this is a Hallmark tie. And you can see it's in great condition. It's got little Santa Claus on it. It says December 24th right there. And it's clean and pretty. And it's from the Hallmark Yuletide Greetings collection. And it's got the little Hallmark thing right here. Right there, Hallmark licensing. So I bought this for $2 from Goodwill. Their hat ties are all $2. And I will put it up for $9.99. And then the third thing I bought is a board game, which is on me. I know I learned from anybody. I learned from myself. This is an Avalon Hill game. I picked it up for $2 from Goodwill. And it is the Avalon Hill game of trivia. This is from 1981. And it's just a trivia game a la Trivial Pursuit. Nothing too spectacular other than the fact that it is a vintage Avalon Hill game, which will make it sell. And it's complete. It's got all the parts. It's got all the trivia questions, and you can kind of see it's very similar to Trivial Pursuit. What's interesting is that Trivial Pursuit and this game came out about the same time. So I don't really know who stole from who, but it's got a lot of the similarity because of the categories and the colors. And it's even got a games and price part list. I wish that games still did that, but they don't. But yeah, it's just kind of a neat game. So like questions would be, name the actor in these pictures among many others: Waco, Calamity Jane, Lovely to Look At, and Armored Command. Howard Keel. I don't know who that is. I'm sorry. President Warren G. Harding was on a tour of the West when he died in 1923. In what West Coast city was he when he died? San Francisco. Makes sense. Does extremely cold weather prevent a snowfall? No. But a heavy snow is less likely in a very cold weather because the extreme dryness of very cold air means there's less moisture for snow clouds. What American League Baseball club, and I won't know this at all because I don't know anything about sports, nearly beat out the New York Yankees for the 1922 pennant but finished in second place one game behind New York? St. Louis Browns. I didn't even know there was a St. Louis Browns. Name the singer who made a big hit recording of Singing the Blues. I want to say Willie Nelson. No, Guy Mitchell. Didn't Willie Nelson do a Singing the Blues? I mean, he does a lot of blues singing, I know. And who played the role of Private Detective Honey West on television? Yeah, this is a great game for people that are like 20 years older than me, I think. And the answer was Anne Francis. These are all very older type questions, and it's that's pretty much what it is, but it's still a very popular game even among my crowd, the hobby crowd. I have actually seen this played at a hobby game night, just because it's so, like, the questions are just so out there for us. Who actually knows about TV shows from the late 70s? I don't. But it's kind of fun to try, and guess. Sometimes you'll get one right. So that's my third favorite item, was the Avalon Hill game of trivia. So I want to thank everyone for watching my show. I hope you liked it. And if you did like it, please like me. Please subscribe to my channel. I have 93 subscribers, which reminds me I now have to come up with a contest. I'm going to talk about the contest in a separate video. I'll do a separate video about a contest that we're going to do. And that's pretty much it. Comment, questions, watch my other show. See everyone next time, and like me on Facebook, Cross House of Cards, eBay, Cross House of Cards and Games, and my website's crosshouseofcards.com and crosshouseofcardsandgames.com. Thank you everyone, and see you next time. Bye.